everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready Die Fighting. I'm Chris, and today I wanted to go over a double N bag and how I've had it for a little while, probably going on 2 years. I got it like when the channel first started, and it is one of my favorite bags to work on. This thing is so much fun, but I wasn't really happy with the way that it moved. And so I kind of did a resetting up of it. I started over and set it up again. Now I'm much happier. And so I want to show you the changes that I've made and why and how it works now. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, and even if you hadn't, I'll link to the old video of where I set this up and I used a bungee cord and I cut it to what I thought was a good length, attached this little clippy guy, and I did the same thing to the bottom, the top going to a hook that I drilled into the ceiling, and the bottom going into this big sandbag made by Ringside, and it's actually designed for bags like this, or even on a heavy bag if you want to keep it from moving too much, things like that. And I was fairly happy with it. It worked pretty good, but I was under the impression that over time the bungee cord would stretch, and it has. It has. And I really wanted the bag to move all over the place. I really wanted to be able to like slap me in the face and, really teach me to move my head. But what I found is that never really quite happened. Even though every time I worked on this thing, I would just kind of pull on it and stretch on it and, try to make sure it was stretching. No matter what I did, even if I hit the bag my hardest, it would only come back, like maybe this far and not quite hit me. And so it was too easy for me to cheat. The other issue that I had was that when it was connected to this sandbag, the sandbag is it's like about this much in diameter, and so I couldn't get this close to the bag also. So the combination of me having to step back a little bit, like this being the closest I could get, and the bag not moving that much, it just never really was a threat to me. And so it was just way too easy for me to cheat and not. Excuse you. These bags are so rude. It was just really easy for me to cheat and not move my head out of the way. And you wouldn't think it'd make that much of a difference, but it does. And so here's the size of this bag. And so this, I'm not sure how many inches this is, but I would guess, what is that, 1.5 feet, 2 feet almost? And so the closest I could get was right here, which left me, and I didn't like to be that close. I didn't want to bang my feet into it. So I was really working from right here. So that's, I don't know, I got big of a feet. That's probably 1 foot away from the bag that I was standing as I was trying to move around, or possibly even more. So I could never really get close enough to make this bag be an actual threat to me. So here are the changes that I made. First thing was getting rid of this. And I traded it out for just a dumbbell. It's a 20-pound dumbbell that I have laying around the house. I occasionally use it to work out with, but I have another one, so I could just, switch hands, alternate, or worst case, untie this and use the weight to exercise with. And so now I'm getting a lot closer. Like, I've got no problem here getting really close to this, especially if I'm, on the side right here. That's like I'm right on top of this bag. See the difference here? Like, I've got no problem moving in like really close, a lot closer than I was with that other bag. Like, I'm right on top of this thing. Just the slightest movement, it's hitting me in the face, which is fantastic. The other thing I changed is I've got some pretty long paracord here. And I basically just, You know, I've got, when it's going, it's got all this slack here. And I just doubled it up and tied it, just super loose, super loose. I don't even think I measured it to anything in particular. And then I didn't want to cut this, so I just added some length here with another bit of paracord. And so the downside to this is that it does sit a little bit lower. Like I did want it to be higher, like closer to my head, but with it being higher up by my head, it just didn't have enough length to get to my face. So I have to settle for it being lower, closer to like chin height. But now, with me being able to move closer and having all this slack, it easily hits me in the face. Which, and with no problem. You know, I can just, a little slap, and this thing is coming, it came past my head there. No issue. And that's what I wanted. I wanted this thing to go all over the place so that I actually have to move my head unless I want to get slapped in the face with this bag, which wouldn't be the end of the world because it doesn't really hurt. And you don't want something that's going to hurt really bad. You don't want to fill this thing up with rocks or something. I don't know how you do that exactly, but you don't want to be fearful. You want to learn to take those hits, get hit in the right place, you know, like these hard, bony parts, and not be scared, and just get your head just slightly out of the way. You know, if it skims you, that's fine. That's not going to kill you. That's not going to even really hurt you. It's going to annoy you, but you're going to be fine if it just kind of skims the side of your head. Who cares? So you don't want to be scared of it. You want a nice, light, soft bag that's not really going to cause any damage, but you want to learn to move your head from whether it's side to side or moving back, you know, just getting out of range, or ducking underneath it. You know, you've got options. But make sure that you can move this bag. This bag moves enough so that it's actually a threat to you. Additionally, what I like about this, it just makes it a much harder target to hit. It can move all over the place. So I really have to concentrate to make sure I can hit it. You know, it's not... This is definitely the bag that I use the most. And even though, you know, I'm not like Canelo or what's his name? I don't know. These like really good boxers who can just wail on this thing and it goes flying. That's fine. That's fine. They just, you know, I've seen some crazy stuff, but I'm still, it's making me move. I'm getting my head moving. You may have seen me, I like to use knives with it. I use sticks with it, whatever. It's even low enough I could probably kick it. I haven't stretched, but you can even work your kicks with this. I'm not going to. My kicks suck these days. I used to be great at kicking. I don't really do it anymore. Gotta start working on that, kicking. But that's it. So get yourself a hole up top and put in one of these. I'll show it to you. It's just let's see. It's just a little keyhole type of hook like that. Making sure you get it in some sort of beam that's going to be strong enough to hold it. You know, honestly, this bag isn't heavy. That's the other beauty of it. You know, a heavy bag, you could, you know, do potentially some damage. You got to make sure you're hanging that thing properly. This, it weighs nothing. You know, you can pound on it. There's nothing happening. You could, you know, you could attach it to almost anything, and you're gonna be fine. I've seen people get those same type of hooks, depending on what kind of flooring you have. Put that in the bottom, and that's gonna be even better than the weight, because then you can get even closer to it. You can be right on top of that thing. So you have a lot of options with this. I feel like there's so much flexibility with these things. You just need to anchor it some kind of way down there and some kind of way down there and leave enough slack so that it moves. To your preference. You know, maybe you want it a little bit more rigid. More rigid is going to be easier, and you can get a lot of that really fast, boom, 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 type of hitting that looks really cool. It's not really what I'm going for right now, but I certainly have the option to get rid of some of that slack, and I could do that. So these are fantastic training tools for a lot of different reasons, whether you're boxing, kickboxing, weapons, everything. It's also just a great and really fun cardio workout. This thing does need to be inflated all the time, which is a little bit annoying, but not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I've been pretty happy with it, and it's gotten beaten up. Like I said, I use my Kali sticks thing on this thing more often than I probably should, and it's fine. So I do like it ringside. Make decent stuff, and this is a really small diameter one. I forget. Double end bag is 5 inches. It's a little 5-inch, tiny little double end bag. So really working on that precision instead of having a big one. Again, preference. They make these things in a lot of different sizes. I've seen some really big ones, and this is, I think, the smallest I've ever seen. And yeah, I like that. I like having a little target, so I'm precise. It's probably smaller than my glove. When I wear gloves, I usually don't with this. All right, that's it for real this time. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.